You won't believe this, but in Switzerland it's illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. in an apartment building. And in Canada? You can't pay for something using too many coins. Yeah, these are real laws. And trust me, they only get weirder. Laws are meant to bring order to society, but some of them make you wonder, what were they thinking? Today we're diving into the strangest, most bizarre laws from around the world. Some of these are outdated, some are oddly specific, and others, well, they just make zero sense. And make sure to stick around because the last one might just make you question reality itself. Let's kick things off with a law that might ruin your night in Victoria, Australia. If you own a light bulb and it goes out, you'd think you could just replace it, right? Nope. According to an old law, only a licensed electrician is legally allowed to change a light bulb. Imagine having to call an electrician every time a bulb blows out. Good luck with that. Now let's head over to Scotland. There's a law that states if someone knocks on your door and asks to use the bathroom, you're legally required to let them in. Now I don't know about you, but if a random stranger shows up at my house needing to go, I might just pretend I'm not home. Speaking of bathroom laws, let's go back to Switzerland. Flushing your toilet after 10 p.m. in an apartment building is considered noise pollution. I get that people need their sleep, but what exactly are you supposed to do if nature calls in the middle of the night? Let it marinate? And if you think that's weird, in Singapore you can't legally chew gum. That's right, no gum. This law was introduced in 1992 to prevent littering and keep public places clean. And it worked. Singapore is one of the cleanest cities in the world. But still, imagine getting fined just for freshening your breath. Now let's talk about some money-related weirdness. In Canada, there's actually a law that limits how many coins you can use in a single transaction. For example, you can't pay for something that costs $100 using just $1 coins. This law exists to prevent people from making ridiculous payments in loose change. But imagine trying to pay for a coffee and being told, "Sorry, too many coins, try again." Meanwhile, in the UK, it's illegal to handle salmon suspiciously. Yeah, you heard that right. According to the Salmon Act of 1986, if you're acting suspiciously while handling a salmon, you could be in trouble. What exactly does that mean? Are you supposed to look the salmon in the eye and reassure it? Who knows? Now let's talk about a law from Japan that might make you reconsider your diet. In 2008, Japan introduced the Metabo law, which makes it illegal for people over the age of 40 to have a waistline exceeding a certain size. Companies are even required to measure their employees' waists to ensure they comply. Imagine your boss walking in and saying, "Hey Steve, you had one too many sushi rolls. Time to slim down or it's the law." And here's something straight out of a horror movie. In Thailand, it's illegal to leave your house without wearing underwear. How exactly do they check this? That's a mystery I don't want to solve. Let's head to France, where it's illegal to name your pig Napoleon. This law dates back to when Napoleon Bonaparte was ruling, and it was meant to prevent people from disrespecting his name. But come on, imagine getting arrested because your pet pig has a historical name. Sir, step away from the swine. And if you think that's strange, in Italy, men are not allowed to wear skirts in public. Sorry fellas, but if you were planning to rock a kilt in Rome, you might want to rethink that. Now let's get into a law that could get you into trouble for simply celebrating. In Samoa, it's illegal to forget your wife's birthday. Yes, you could literally face legal consequences for not remembering your anniversary or birthday. Husbands, take notes. This one's serious. But if you think that's extreme, let's go to the US, where each state seems to have its own brand of bizarre laws. In Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. Apparently, this law came about after a donkey actually did sleep in a bathtub, and it caused a whole mess when a flood carried the tub away. Meanwhile, in Alabama, you can't wear a fake mustache in church if it causes laughter. So if your fake mustache game is strong, better keep it outside the holy house. And if you're planning to own a goldfish in Rome, you better think again. In the city of Rome, it's illegal to keep goldfish in a bowl. Why? Because it's considered cruel. The idea is that the curved glass distorts their view and stresses them out. Imagine explaining to your kids why they can't have a fish. Sorry, Timmy, it's against the law. But here's one of the strangest laws of all. In China, reincarnation without government approval is illegal. That means if you're a Buddhist monk and you plan to be reborn, you technically need permission from the authorities. Talk about red tape even in the afterlife. Now you might be thinking, alright, these are hilarious, but do people actually get arrested for this stuff? Most of these laws are either outdated, rarely enforced, or just exist on paper. But technically they are still laws, which means you could, in theory, get into legal trouble if someone really wanted to enforce them. The real question is, why do these laws exist in the first place? Are they leftovers from a different time? Do they serve a hidden purpose? Or were they simply created out of a really weird situation that no longer applies? The thing about laws is that they often come from very specific incidents. Take the Arizona donkey bathtub law, for example. That wasn't a random decision. An actual donkey sleeping in a tub caused a disaster. Same with Canada's coin rule. Businesses were tired of people dumping buckets of coins on the counter. And Singapore's gum ban? Well, before the law was put in place, people were sticking gum everywhere, damaging public property. But then, there are laws that seem to have no logical reason. Like the Scottish bathroom law. Was there a time when desperate people kept knocking on doors? Or the French Napoleon pig law? Was there an epidemic of disrespectful pig names? The truth is, laws change with time. Some laws are made in response to very real issues, while others just stick around for centuries even when they no longer make sense. And sometimes they aren't removed simply because no one's really paying attention. After all, who's going to take the time to argue about salmon-related crime? From toilets to pigs to mustaches in church, the world is filled with laws that make absolutely no sense. Some of them had a purpose at one point, while others are just plain ridiculous. But one thing's for sure. If you ever travel the world, you might want to double-check the local laws. You never know what kind of weird rule you might accidentally break.